City Ski Shop, featuring the largest selection of cold weather clothing around, from long underwear, wool socks, and Columbia jackets. Don City, East Springers Road, Chattanooga. And I'm Storm Machine 12, Chief Meteorologist Patrick Moore.
News Radio 92.7.
Come see the Chattanooga Zoo transformed into a magical winter wonderland. Visit the animals and watch them open their gifts. Have your picture taken with Santa Claus, play holiday games and make crafts, or just enjoy the beauty of the zoo covered in lights at their annual Holiday Lights event every Friday and Saturday night in December, right up until December 22nd. It's the most wonderful time of year at the Chattanooga Zoo. For ticket pricing and information, go to chatzoo.com.
Radio station that really cares. Gotten business also had.
Prices were very fair. Your radio station is able to help us out, and I really appreciate that.
We've been very pleased with the services we've got, and we've been very impressed with the creativity of the ads that we've heard.
Been doing business with News Talk Radio for quite some time. It's the best place and the best value you can get for your advertisement.
The commercial that they put together was awesome. It was way far above all the other radio stations we've dealt with. The best we've had yet, guarantee you.
The Tennessee Valley's News Talk leader, Nooga Radio, 92.7 FM. The station you hear everywhere. Nooga Radio 92.7.
Good morning. Beautiful people here in the city of Chattanooga. This is your Marine Mott with the Marine Mott Show. Y'all know what it is. I'm taking it from the streets to City Hall to the mayor's office. Can't leave out the police department. From the Valley Low to the mountaintop, giving you guys a bird's eye view to what's going on here in the city of Chattanooga. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am in a perfect mood. And why is Marie Mott in a wonderful mood this morning? Because justice for interstate tax, step one, has been secured. Well, what was step one? That all of the charges against Mr. Charles Tony Jr. be dropped. And I found out this morning that because of endless pressure from the young people in the city of Chattanooga that was showing up at city council, we did have the support of some elders. But really, I want to give shine and light and attention to the various young people in the city, people like Steve Bedford, Brandon Woodruff. I'm in that number. Young people who came together, young people of different colors, sexual preferences, orientations, came together not only at city council, but we also came together last Friday in front of the courthouse. They were so terrified of the young people coming together for our brother that they closed down the building almost 2 hours early. And I got to just take a moment, and I can't secure this moment without the ancestors. And who better than to bless this moment as far as a quote is concerned than none other than Southern organizer, one of my loves, one of the most influential people I've ever known, Miss Fannie Lou Hamer. And she said, you can pray until you faint, but unless you get up and try to do something, God is not going to put it in your lap. Sometimes it seems like to tell the truth today is to run the risk of being killed. But if I fall, I'll fall 5 feet forward, 4 inches forward in the fight for freedom. If I fall, even if I fall, I fall forward. I fall forward in the fight for freedom. Sometimes, to tell the truth, it runs the risk of possibly being incarcerated or being killed. But the most important part is that you can pray until you faint. But unless you get up and try to do something, people will critique how we go about this justice fight. Protesting is not enough. And that's an opinion. But what we have to understand is that it takes a little bit of everything, a little bit of something to get this thing that we call justice secured. So you know what we need? We need people behind the scenes, and we need people on the outside. What we need are the people who have experienced the traumatic experiences, and then we need allies. what we need is one another to secure these things, that we are looking for. And as a matter of fact, I wrote a quote of my own the other day, that in order for justice to reign within the earth, we must demand it more consistently. And so once we lived in one of the most church cities in America, and I'm sure we're not short of any prayers. I'm sure with there being a church or a mosque, right, or a temple on every corner in the city, we're not lacking prayers. But what we are lacking is the willingness to get up and to do something. And don't let anyone, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart and the depths of my soul, don't let anyone tell you that what you're doing is, if it is for justice, if it is for love, if it is for equity, don't let them tell you that it is ineffective. You know what? We all can't do the same thing in this walk that we call freedom and justice. We can't do the same job. And so, again, even if it's protesting, that's still something. You got up off of your couch. You got out the comfort of your own home. And we did it in the cold, folks. So anybody who says that protesting doesn't work, we proved you wrong. We proved you wrong. If anybody take back what you say, if you say that protesting is not effective, homie, we just proved you wrong. But it's not just the protesting. Really, what they are always afraid of is unity. There's strength in numbers, and there is strength in us coming together. And the reason why there's always these divisive tactics in society is to ensure that we never come together. The moment we do, we vastly outnumber every system that stands in our way. And so if we bicker and we argue, if we say that what this person does is not working and what that person is doing is not effective, and you shouldn't say that or you shouldn't do that, instead of everybody just doing a little bit of something. She didn't say, Miss Fannie Lou Hamer didn't say, if you do this, then it'll work. She said, if you just get up, stop. Once you prayed, if you just get up and try to do something, that's good enough. That's all we have to do is try to do something. And that's good enough. I'm so excited. But the war is not over. And I got to make that clear, because sometimes we get caught up in a good first step and we don't see it all the way through. And I don't want us to miss out on ensuring that not only have we made a statement, but that we have secured justice all the way to the finish line. And what does that look like? That looks like this officer losing every piece of money that he could ever make. No chance of a pension. He loses his job, all of his benefits, and then he's brought up on criminal charges. So until that happens, family, we still got work to do. We still have pressure to apply. And if anything, we should be encouraged to turn up the heat, right? Turn up the heat. The sheriff, I know he's listening. I know if he's not listening, somebody in his office is listening. Mr. Hammond, you had your opportunity, and you can still fire this man and maybe salvage just a little bit of your reputation. Just a little bit of your reputation. Fire this man. Do what is right. It is time for people to do what is right. And we should not continue to petition people that we put into power to do what is right. Why should we have to petition Haslam to give Santoya Brown clemency when you know that all she did was defend herself against a sexual predator? She does not deserve to spend the rest of her life in prison here in the state of Tennessee. She's already gotten a college degree. Give her clemency, set her free, and give people the impression that when we put you in the office, and even if we don't vote for you and put you in the office, that you'll do the right thing. And make sure, family, make sure you write down every person, every council member, every county commissioner, You write down every public official that did not demand that the charges against interstate tax be dropped. You write down their names. Every person that did not demand for this officer to be fired and criminally charged, because once 2020 comes around, these folks should be scared to even think about running. You hear what I'm telling you? Nobody on our city council should be running for mayor. They're all trash to me, because we have people sitting up there with power and influence who chose not to do what is right. And you know what? This is our time. This is the people's time. This is our time. This is our time. This is the people's hour. This is our hour. And you know what? We need to stop giving people the impression that not only can we put them into positions of power, but that once they get there, they can treat us and our communities and our children any kind of way. This next wave of leadership should be absolutely in tune with the people and should be afraid of making a choice or a decision apart from the people. I had to tell County Commissioner Mackey last night. He said, I this and I that. I said, sir, who put you in those seats? Was it you? No, it was voters. And I said, who do you represent as a county commissioner? Do you represent you, or do you represent tens of thousands of people? I said, well, sir, when it comes to issues in the community, you don't have a right to make up what you're going to say and address on our behalf. What you should do is get with the community and ask us, what do you want me to say? How do you want me to address this issue? What are the people's demands? That is leadership. That's leadership. That's proper leadership. No leader has a right to decide what is best for the people. I've seen companies go under because of this, not be productive. It's feedback that I've given in my personal corporate America life, and it's feedback, unfortunately, we have to give in the community. What makes a leader great is their relationship with the people that serve with them. And as a matter of fact, I think we need to get back to a point and a place where we firmly believe that even being a politician is a ministry. And why is it a ministry? It's because you serve people. You serve people. You don't serve your own desires. You don't serve the few little people in your inner circle. You serve the people you like and the people you dislike, the people who voted for you and the people who didn't, the people who didn't even vote. You serve all of them. If there is ever a situation where there is a cup that runneth over, this is it. This is it. I don't want to just tell these stories, tell these sad, heart, gut-wrenching stories, because all I want to do is focus on pain. But I really, first of all, I want to give light to these issues that otherwise never make it into our talking circles. Give light and voice and attention to the continuous victims of systems of oppression. That is my job. But I don't want to just park at pain and discomfort and oppression. I want to be able to encourage you, the listener, to believe that there is a vehicle that is moving towards righteousness and justice. And that if we don't get in the car, and if we don't start it up, if we don't put it in drive, and if we don't move, then not only are we just listening and desensitized, but we are missing the opportunities to ensure that people receive justice. America was not founded in beautiful terms. It was founded in blood, right? It was founded with the near eradication of Native Americans and the forced free labor of chattel slaves. And we've come into this 21st century where we have the opportunity more than ever before to be connected. And we have a responsibility in this technological hour to ensure that we increase our connectivity and that we use our connectivity, social media, that we use email, that we use our voices, that we use these mediums such as Facebook and radio and television. And we use these mediums as an avenue for what is right. We have the ability to do far more if we just get up and choose to do something positive. We have such a beautiful opportunity to do so much more at a faster pace than some of our ancestors. And I'm so glad that the people heard me. The people heard Tax in his interview with me, that the people showed up at my call, my petition for them to come to city council. And even though they turned their back on us, guess what? We're still here. We're still here. We're still right here. We're here. Y'all just don't understand. People, this doesn't happen often, but partly because we got to do a better job of demanding justice every single day. Let's talk about it. Y'all know me. I am an empath. And I'll start boohooing in a moment. I keep on talking about it. So why is it important for us to stay on top of what's going on? Well, because I woke up this morning and the Chattanooga Times Free Press has director of North Georgia Theater Company accused of having sex with 2 underage girls. Now, this is also coming after, I do believe the earlier part of last week, we had an East Ridge officer accused of having sex with, at the time, was an underage young lady. The director of a North Georgia Theater Company and 2008 Pulitzer Prize nominee has been indicted on 5 counts. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. 5 counts of aggravated statutory rape. Joshua Conrad Smith, the founder of Closed Door Entertainment Company, is accused of intentionally engaging in sexual contact with 2 underage girls between February the 15th of 2017 and June the 1st of 2017. The grand jury handed down the indictment on December 12th, and Smith, who is 32, was arrested on Friday and taken to Hamilton County Jail. Oh, but watch it get shifty and real dirty right here. Y'all want to see how unfair the system is. Now, Mr. Tony was indicted on 3 charges, right? And the officer beat the snot out of him. But this man right here, this disgusting ginger, side-eyed looking, nasty pedophile specimen of a so-called man, can make his way to the Hamilton County Jail, and the magistrate gives him a $10,000 bond. Do you know what that means, folks? This man, who has been indicted on 5 counts of aggravated statutory rape against children, can get out of jail with just $1,000. Let that sink in for a moment. So because I guess maybe he has his own company. They didn't hesitate. See, this is where we see the differences between white males, and I just got to keep it real. We see the difference in how white males and African-American males are painted in our media. And I'm getting ready to punch Chattanooga Times in the throat. Because, yeah, we got the mugshot, but what's the first thing that they have right here? Instead of just saying that he's an owner of a theater company, in 2008, Pulitzer Prize nominee, I don't care if he's a Pulitzer Prize winner. That don't give him the right to touch on nobody's baby. (800-8949) if you want to call and chop it up with me. But do we see the hypocrisy, the difference in the media, but then the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy of our justice system? There are more people in jail for nonviolent crimes. And I guess because this stale, pale male who loves fondling little girls, because he's quote unquote somebody, he gets to skate out of jail with $1,000. First of all, let me take it down a notch. First of all, it's a whole lot of things I can take in life. But baby, if there's one act that deserves for you to be strung up in the middle of town, put your hands on somebody's child. To me, there is no coming back from that. Rape or take the innocence of a child, there's no coming back from that. You are a rapist. You are still a pedophile. Y'all better stay tuned for the second half of the segment, because this is going on too much here in the city of Chattanooga.
3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now.
A man already on the sex offender registry arrested and charged with rape earlier this month. Carlos Miguel Moore booked into the county jail on the 2nd. He's been on the sex offender registry since back in 1996. Exact details about the incident are unavailable, but the TBI lists him as violent against children. Arresting officers say a Brainerd High School student pointed a gun at a group of kids as they walked out of school at dismissal. A school resource officer shouted, telling him to put the gun down. The student complied. Officers say they found a second pistol on the boy. Just last month, a loaded gun was found in a student's locker at Howard. And the work continues on Highway 111. Crews are working to replace a pipe, which caused a massive sinkhole that cut off contact to Dunlap. The pipe gave way after heavy rains last month. Thomas Brothers Construction of Hickson is handling the project. They expect to be finished by April. Val St. John for Nooga Radio. News Talk 92.7. Action News now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Hey folks, Jeff Stiles here, talk radio host and infamous technophobe. But I got to tell you, this Facebook Live that Nooga Radio does, it makes sense to me. It really does. Now, we're at 92.7 on the FM dial, but really where you need to go is NoogaRadio.com and just do the streaming audio, 8 to 10 a.m. The first hour is mostly just me just throwing commentary in on top of the news. The second hour is me frustrating and irritating you beyond all belief. NoogaRadio.com. Don't miss it every weekday.
You want more business. You want to increase your bottom line. You want to spend less on advertising, imaging your business, and general expenses. You need Trade Bank. When you join Trade Bank, you'll get the benefit of free advertising in our monthly magazine, TradeBank.com, emails, and mailouts. Join Trade Bank now and receive your Trade Bank debit card with trade credits to spend any way you want. Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Call now for a free consultation. 877-2202. That's 877-2202. Trade Bank of Chattanooga.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com for Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. This is your sandwich speaking. Yeah, your sandwich. And you know, you can't find me any place but the Mad Philly Sandwich Shop. Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, just off 153 on Shaliford Road. It's in the little plaza. Hey, check out these buns. Yeah, they're Amorosa. All the way from Philly. So bite me. You want a real Philly cheesesteak? Check out my meat. Throw some cheese on it and grilled onions. Oh, yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. Only at the Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, where you'll always get the real taste of a Philadelphia cheesesteak. Plus hoagies, burgers, sandwiches, salads, fresh cut fries, tater tots, and other stuff. Mad Philly Sandwich Shop, just off 153 on Shaliford Road, right across from Mountain View Service Center. It's in the little plaza. Hey, come on, we're waiting for you here. So just shut up and eat it.
Man, you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah, I worked with my dad on his truck all the time. Just one more bolt to go.
Yeah, wrong bolt. Today's truck ain't your daddy's truck. For repairs on today's vehicles, you need Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way. The Thompson Pet way. Yeah, I just put that anywhere.
It's got lots of sunshine and nice weather out there for your afternoon. High settling into the mid-50s. Tonight, clear, cold, lows near freezing, some more patchy late fog. For Tuesday, mostly sunny, highs near 55. Increasing clouds Wednesday, highs into the 50s with a few showers returning Wednesday night. Get ready for Christmas and Old Man Winter with Dodge City Ski Shop, featuring the largest selection of cold weather clothing around. From long underwear, wool socks, and Columbia jackets, Dodge City, East Springers Road, Chattanooga. And I'm Swarm Jeans, Chief Meteorologist Patrick Moore.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Oh, it's that familiar voice, the hottest show on the radio, period. The Marie Mott Show. And y'all know what it is. Justice for interstate tax has been secured as far as the first step. But the officers still must be fired and brought up on criminal charges. Nobody should ever put their hands on a person who is in handcuffs. Period. But we had a big story. Joshua Conrad Pedophile Smith, founder of Closed Door Entertainment Company, indicted on 5 counts of aggravated statutory rape. He's accused of sexual contact with 2 underage girls between February 15, 2017 and June 1st, 2017. The grand jury handed down an indictment on December the 12th, and Smith was arrested on Friday and taken to Hamilton County Jail. But because our system loves anybody that has a little bit of influence or a little bit of prestige, he didn't have to go through what Marie Mott had to go through back in January, which is if you stay at the jail too long and it gets crowded, they take you to Silverdale. How is it that people who get involved on any sort of domestic case, they got to hold you for a minimum 12 hours, but you can rape people and fondle little girls and you can bond out immediately? And what the heck is wrong that people would have a man who's indicted on 5 counts, not just of statutory rape, but aggravated? These words have power, folks, to have meaning. Aggravated statutory rape. 800-8949, because I know y'all want to call and talk to me about this. $1,000? Is that what I think we have to start asking real questions. Is that all little girls are worth? Is that all our daughters, your niece, your granddaughter? If somebody touches her and takes away her sexual... If somebody does that to her, all he has to pay is $1,000 to get out of jail. And we're okay with that? We're okay with that? I think the name of that movie, Samuel L. Jackson and Matthew McConaughey. Is it Mississippi Burning? I have to go back and look at that. I think my brain is telling me it's Mississippi Burning. But something like this happened. Little girl, if you haven't seen that movie, it's a classic. It's a classic Samuel L. Jackson movie. But it's set up. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell the story and spoil it for people who've never seen the movie. So this little girl went to A Time to Kill. That's right. Thank you. A Time to Kill. So let me paint a picture for you. This little girl, her mama sends her to the grocery store to pick up a couple of items. Some eggs, just some things from a little country corner store. And she's walking on her way home. And on her way home, there are these two drunk white males in a big old nasty truck with the back of the bed that's filled with beer cans and trash. And they see this little girl and they follow her, and she's trying to walk home. She's trying to walk home. And the thing that they do is they basically cut her off and they grab her. And this girl is screaming for help as they rape her. And then as if that's not enough, they try to hang her to kill her. Come on. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Talk to me.
Marie, you have a victory. Yay. You have a victory. The people can make a change. One person makes changes, not committees. Committees sit around and just philosophize. Individuals make changes. So congratulations, Marie.
It's not just me, it's the community.
Well, it is the community, but you did a fantastic job on this and bringing attention to it. That's what's important.
Thank you.
Because the media in general is so corrupt. But, innocent till proven guilty. Let us not ever forget that. We'd rather let 99 guilty people go free than one innocent man go to jail. And it's unequal application of the law when somebody with money can get out for whatever they're charged with. But, if somebody yells rape 30 years ago, and it's a female, it doesn't make them right. And doesn't make her right. And if a boy says he's been molested by a priest, it doesn't mean that he's right. Everyone is entitled to... Look what they did to poor Michael Jackson, who was innocent of those charges, and they ruined his reputation because people want money. I don't believe anything or anyone until I see the evidence. Innocent until proven guilty. Look what they did to poor Judge Kavanaugh. Not one shred of corroborating evidence.
Well, they wouldn't let the women come forward. Like they wouldn't let the women come forward.
They would let the woman come forward. They could not. The FBI investigated this.
Come on, you're talking about the same. You're talking about the same FBI. You're talking about the same FBI that would label me a black identity extremist.
Listen, I don't love the FBI, but you know what? There was not one piece of cooperating evidence.
Come on.
Investigation.
Come on, like.
And the Democrats held us. She was a liar.
Come on, like.
Innocent until proven guilty.
So, I get innocent until proven guilty, but when we're talking about children, we got to take this a step further than just innocent until proven guilty. Now, I can agree with that to a certain extent. But really, the biggest problem that I have with is, number one, how white males are painted in the media as opposed to anybody else. Right? We saw this with the guy who murdered his children, murdered his wife, dumped their bodies at his work site. They didn't put up no mug shots of this man. All they put up of him was family photos. The hypocrisy of media. That the first time you see a black man or anybody that's African American or Native American or Latino, if anytime we're painted in the eyes of the public, we don't get that same benefit of the doubt of innocent until proven guilty. We're automatically guilty. And so while I can appreciate that and respect that, it only goes so far. Because if we're going to talk about innocent until proven guilty, then we don't need mug shots of people, period. And everybody gets to have all of their accolades and the positive things that they're done. Because if that was the case, interstate tax, all I had to do was look through his photos. Besides the fact I knew him and knew the work he did in the community, all I had to do was go to his Facebook page. So everybody at News Channel 9, 12, 3, Chattanooga Times could have done the same. They could have went on his Facebook page and pulled pictures of him renting out an ice cream truck, giving ice cream to children. They could have pulled up pictures of him handing out hamburgers to homeless people in front of the community kitchen. They could have pulled up those pictures and displayed all of the wonderful things that he's done. The charity kickball event that he did with Brandon Woodruff, Steve Bedford, and T. Johnson, a fatherly figure. They could have pulled up pictures of him knocking on doors with Brandon Woodruff, the youngest person we've ever had run for state legislature here in the city of Chattanooga. They could have pulled up a variety of photos. They chose not to. If we want to talk about innocent until proven guilty, that's got to be across the board. Don't spit that in my face. Y'all know me. I try to give callers the benefit of the doubt, but not today. Don't spit that in my face. Innocent until proven guilty. If we're not going to call for that treatment of everybody that makes their way to the news. And that's why, even though I was totally embarrassed about getting arrested this year, never been arrested in my life, I went on ahead and leaked my own photo, because for what I'm going to do in the future, nobody's going to hold anything against me. I'll tell them my own self. Right? I posted my mugshot and gave context. I told my own story because nobody else is going to tell my story for me. Right? And so if anybody in the future, whatever I choose to do in the future, if anybody dig and think that they're going to try to slander me in the media, they're going to have people coming from the community. Oh man, Marie put that photo up like 2 years ago and told us how she got arrested and why and everything. Like, y'all weak. This is about children. And I think we have to do a better job of being honest about the rape culture that we have here in the city of Chattanooga. Do I need to roll call the rapists? If it's not people with prestige, or power or influence, it's our police officers. Come on now. I'm not saying that citizens don't do this, but the hypocrisy. This is utterly disgusting. And the bigger issue is the fact that this man was allowed to bail out of jail for aggravated statutory rape for nothing more than $1,000. Nothing more than $1,000. So you're telling me that people who murder people, people who rape people, people who touch our children, that they don't have mandatory minimums that they have to stay in jail. They get to just bail out. And anybody who's just caught up on a domestic issue, they got to stay in jail, even though they're innocent until proven guilty as well. But they got to stay in jail for 12 hours. And according to people, they say it's for a cool down period. But I mean, there's not the same type of feeling like we don't need to keep our eye on people who are raping folks. Like, I don't. So somebody call 800-8949 and help me make sense of that. Like, to me, that makes no sense. But let's look at this, because I wanted to pull this up right quick. Aggravated statutory rape in the state of Tennessee. So Tennessee State Code 39-13-506 defines 1 degree of a crime, aggravated statutory rape, each with associated punishments. The degree of crime depends on the specifics of the crime committed with higher degrees of the charge generally receiving harsher punishments. So the severity of aggravated statutory rape is a Class D felony. Come on. If the victim is at least 13 but under 18 and the offender is at least 10 years older than the victim, then that's what qualifies them for statutory rape. And one charge, this is important, one charge of that has a punishment that is maximum of 12 years in prison and a maximum fine of $5,000. So for the folks who are good at math, what's 12 times 5? Multiply that times 5. He was indicted on aggravated statutory rape 5 times. What do you mean? Are we ever going to like really look at our rape culture that we have here in the city of Chattanooga? And in particular with people in power and police officers. There is absolutely no way that we could just shut this off. No, we really need to start asking ourselves questions about how do we have a toxic and why do we have a toxic rape culture in the city of Chattanooga and surrounding areas? How do we have a situation where we believe it's okay for a police officer to sleep? Oh, y'all help me out. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Talk to the people.
I'm with you all the way on this. Good morning, by the way.
Good morning.
I'm with you. I think that, this guy should never, lock up the keys, throw it away, kind of thing. But I think that you're getting a little carried away with letting us be divided. The phraseology that you've used this ginger guy, this.
I'm just describing. I'm just describing who he is.
When you use that terminology, you start to divide us into categories.
Well, I'm not dividing people into category. I'm just talking about the individual, and that's who he is.
But taking it from, we use things in context, and when people hear those individual words, as I tuned in a little bit late, I hear things. If I were to say boot black or ashy black, that would sound very racist. And so you have to look at it from this perspective. Now, I agree with you fundamentally 100%. However, we have to be careful the way we talk about things.
No problem. Again, just describing the dude. I'm not saying that everybody who has red hair is a rapist or a pedophile. I think people have to not be sensitive about stuff. That's exactly who this guy is. That's exactly who he is. And I do apologize if anybody was offended by that, but the bigger point that I'm making here is that this dude, right? And it's not about color, because Desmond Logan, serial rapist with the Chattanooga Police Department, is an African-American male with a horrible lineup. Right?
No.
Good morning. Talk to me. Turn the volume down in the background for me, please.
Yes, the last caller, but all of these issues are based upon racism of black minorities versus white people who get off on a lesser charge or serve time lesser than the black person. So, I totally understand where he's coming from, but most of these charges are basically it's a racist situation. This is the reason why, the attack is not necessarily the attack, but the fight. That's why the fight is going on. It's simply because it has to do with race at the end of the day, black and white. That's it. God bless.
Thank you. And I think that it's important to understand that when we see people painting pictures in the media, we do not see this consistency with African Americans. Maybe the exception to that rule, was Officer Desmond Logan. Good morning. Talk to the people.
Hey, Marie, it's Joel Willis. How you doing this morning?
What's going on, fam? Talk to the people.
You know, I found it pretty funny here that we got a bunch of guys calling in. They're really upset about due process and innocent until proven guilty. It seems like there's some volunteer rapist advocates. Okay, so maybe they need to take a step back and look at why they're taking time out of their day to call in and defend people who are raping children. The second part that I want to put out there to the viewers, people that are not familiar with sexual violence advocacy and work like that, is that there is no way to physically prove whether or not a rape has happened. People think that forensic exams by these nurses, they think that they prove whether or not an assault has happened. What they prove is that physical contact has happened. The only person who knows whether or not a sexual assault has happened is the person who experienced it.
And who would that have been? And who would that have been? It would have been the children, right?
It would have been the children. That is what you have to go on, and that's why I personally, as a man and as a survivor of these horrible crimes, I will always believe the advocate. I will always believe the victims, because when you look at the statistics, it is a very, 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 very small percentage. More cars are reported as stolen each year falsely than are false accusations of rape. But we don't have insurance companies going around all the time making people prove their car was stolen. It is the only crime where we turn around and blame the people it happened to. And I just wanted to speak up as a man and call in and say that I'm really concerned for these little girls. And I really hope that they get justice and they and their families get the healing that they need.
Thank you so much, Joel, man. I appreciate you, bro. Like, I appreciate you.
You know, I was getting heated. I had to walk out of my office.
I know it. And that's because we're talking about our babies. Now, back to A Time to Kill. Because on A Time to Kill, what we saw was this father, and caller, I'm going to take your call in just a second. What we saw was the father who didn't wait on the gentleman to be brought up on charges. He waited outside the courtroom and he shot him. So, I'm not encouraging nobody to do that. But what I'm saying to you is that when we're talking about children, we got to look at this from a different point of view. And how we would treat an adult is separate. Not only how we would treat children, but how we treat rape victims. And let's be honest, what they told us that was that our babies are only worth $1,000. Y'all know what it is. I love you guys, and it's nothing you can do about it.
3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
A man already on the sex offender registry arrested and charged with rape earlier this month. Carlos Miguel Moore booked into the county jail on the 2nd. He's been on the sex offender registry since back in 1996. Exact details about the incident are unavailable, but the TBI lists him as violent against children. Arresting officers say a Brainerd High School student pointed a gun at a group of kids as they walked out of school at dismissal. A school resource officer shouted, telling him to put the gun down. The student complied. Officers say they found a second pistol on the boy. Just last month, a loaded gun was found in a student's locker at Howard. And the work continues on Highway 111. Crews are working to replace a pipe, which caused a massive sinkhole that cut off contact to Dunlap. The pipe gave way after heavy rains last month. Thomas Brothers Construction of Hickson is handling the project. They expect to be finished by April. Val St. John for Nooga Radio. News Talk 92.7. Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio. 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
It's been lots of sunshine and nice weather out there for you afternoon.